Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone. Hello. We're so happy to have you here today. Here we go at USA Global TV and Radio. We provide world-class education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. I'm Jacalyn Kerbeck, and I'm known as Dr. Jacalyn, the Listening Mentor. Our show today is Coexistence and Sustainability, and we're going to be talking about butterflies. Our topic is Butterfly Ballet, the Magic of Garden Pollinators. So I want to give a big shout out and hello to all of our friends watching on YouTube, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Twitter, on Roku Worldwide, on Amazon Fire. We're so happy to have you with us. If you would like to share a comment or a story, please go to the social media platform or whatever platform you're watching and go ahead and share a comment or a thought. We would love to hear from you. So joining me today is the star of our show. Her name is Pet Psychic AMINAH. She's in California, and she has extensive experience in a number of areas when it comes to animals. And you may be wondering, well, what does a show about coexistence and sustainability have to do with a pet psychic? Well, she is definitely a pet psychic, and she can help you communicate with your animals, whether they are here on this earth or they have passed on. She can help you communicate with them so that you can be either at peace, or you can learn what are some of the things that you need to do so that you're more in alignment with your furry friends, so to speak. So she's also very passionate about this world, about creatures existing together, as opposed to the human race coming in and just deciding, well, we don't need that worm, we don't need that bug, we don't need whatever it is, and we just start killing everything. How can we find a way to coexist and respect the fact that we are here on this planet And together we can create beautiful music together. Every creature has a reason for being. So we're going to explore this topic and more with Pet Psychic Amina. But first, we're going to take a break and hear from one of our sponsors. So please do stay with us. Our sponsor today is the British School of Excellence. And we're going to hear from some of the people who have taken their Train the Trainer program and become etiquette coaches themselves. Take a look. This program is brought to you in part by the British School of Excellence and founder, Mr. Philip Sykes. Building confidence, changing lives. Do you share our view that etiquette is a set of modern life skills that are essential for personal and professional success? Join us as an etiquette coach and change people's lives through the power of etiquette and manners.
The last few days have been really amazing. I had the trainer course from the British School of Etiquette.
And I must say it's been one of the best decisions I've ever made and one of the best investments I've made in my own training and development.
Now, words alone will not describe the transformation and the positive path that I have traveled with the British School of Etiquette.
I find really I learned a lot from the lessons this time I came.
The last few days with the British School of Etiquette have been fantastic.
And what I've learned now is really beyond my expectations.
This is the most rewarding experience and the best investment I have made this year.
It was just great. I learned so much, and when I go back to Belgium I will incorporate a lot of it into my day-to-day life and business.
It's been absolutely wonderful for the whole week that we were here.
I feel transformed, and I feel like blowing a trumpet and tell people, come and do this school, this class is the best, this is the best school ever.
You should take it. It will change your life immediately.
I am now able to teach other people how to bring the best of them.
Thank you.
Thank you, BSD.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you to our clients for their testimonials on the Train the Trainer program. Our exponential and global growth is so significant that we've evolved from the British School of Etiquette to the British School of Excellence, where we're investors in people. Let us invest in you and your career. Contact us to become an etiquette coach. Go to thebritishschoolofexcellence.com. Start your career and elevate your success today. Welcome back, everyone. I'm super excited. Pet Psychic Amina is here. We're going to get right into our topic again. It's Butterfly Ballet, the magic of garden pollinators. Welcome to the program.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your patience, everybody.
No problem whatsoever. So for people who are not aware, butterflies start out a little bit different, don't they?
All wrapped up in a little cocoon, waiting for their wings to dry. Don't touch them. Don't bother them. They've picked their location for a good reason. It's conducive to their time in that stage. It's called the chrysalis stage. And all you have to do is to wish them well. Wish them well. And do things tragically happen? Weather? Sure. But the insects are meant to be where they are at when you find them. Please don't think you're going to capture this, bring it inside, and your kids and you are all going to get to watch it, because the damage that could happen when people cut them out of their flowers or they think they're going to eat them all. Provide things that are appropriate for them to eat. Plant the plants that they love. There's lots of things out there that honey bees and your monarch butterflies and every other kind of butterflies from where you live is a great time to study with your kids and find out what they need. So when they come out, they're good and hungry, and you've put some great plants there for them to munch on.
So can you just talk a little bit about what it actually looks like before it becomes a butterfly, and where in trees and bushes and wherever people might find if they've never seen this before? I don't know about everybody. I hate using the everybody thing, but it's very common
that so many people don't like creepy crawly things. Spiders are not the only one, but creepy crawler things can be your earthworms and they do come up top side, especially if it rains a lot and there's too much water in the soil, they'll come up for those things that they need. You're going to get that also in the butterfly. They have a worm stage. Depending on the butterfly, it's just too large of a good content. I have to send you about 100 pictures of what they could look like on their part of the world. So anytime you see a worm, it might be an earthworm, and it's the one mixing all the soil up for you and your plants and making it a nice, healthy place. And drainage, not enough maybe, but those are things that we have to work on. But these types of monarch butterflies and these other really big butterflies here in California, we have monarchs, and they're just beautiful, wonderful animals, and technically, of course, insects. What you don't do is you never, ever, ever should be picking them up. You could bump into their leaves. They have a very fine type of powder. My definitions on the way their wings are put together, and if you touch that gets destroyed from not just oil on our hands, but just being human, because I'm not implying that we all have oil on our hands, but it is there for those wings. So let's not touch them. Let's not, if you've got a butterfly that's found its way into your house, yeah, you probably should take it outside and let it go. What you can do is get a little container, get a little cup, put a piece of paper on the other side, so you're not touching that butterfly at any given time, and then you let it out. If you love butterflies, I highly recommend, and it's really important where we are in global warming, is to put out flowers and plants that the butterfly that is in your area, and that's just a simple Google search. What kind of butterflies do we have? Poof. I tried it before we came on, and it was wonderful. Where I live, they're going to show me the butterflies in my area. You want to know what's in Alaska, you want to know in a state, you get to do that too. Then you'll find out, what do they need? Do they eat sunflowers? Eat is a very loose term in this part. Are they consuming sunflowers? Are they doing roses? You need to look into it. And the fun part is you're learning, and hopefully you'll bring your kids into it, or your neighbors and your friends. And wouldn't it be fabulous, Dr. Jacalyn? You had one house that did one kind of insective in their area, and they dealt that plant, and another house, and then it would be stunning. It'd be like one of those house. I've seen realtors do this, where they all go see a whole bunch of house for open house day. Well, you could have butterfly love day or whatever you want, and everybody share what they have. And when the butterflies pass, sometimes you'll get a chance to see them on the sidewalk or on the plant that they've lived out their life. This is a good time to, if you wanted to, put them in resin or have a display of the butterflies that were there, and you can take pictures of them. You don't have to have actual dead butterfly. But there's so many ways, and there's so many plants. I really have to encourage you, look at what your area needs. If you are in a really cold area certain parts of the time, well, what happens? Exactly. You need to understand the trajectory of a butterfly and where it's going and where it's coming to.
Excellent points. And by the way, there are different types of butterflies. Mm-hmm. And I think this is kind of interesting, because for one of the holidays, I think it was Easter, there was a big open church, and they gave the kids these, I guess they're butterflies in plastic or something. And then at a certain time, you open it up and the butterfly, I mean, it looks like it's compressed and pressed down. And then all of a sudden it comes to life, which is really
and that's what the dormant stage, I'm use that word. It's not quite correct, because it would be like saying, if a bear hibernates, and we all know what that means, he goes into a den of some making of their own, and they sleep and they sleep and sleep and sleep. And everybody says, don't wake a bear. I don't care if it's a sleeper or not. Butterflies go through those stages. And one of those is the chrysalis stages, where they're in that cocoon and they're developing every body part. It would be like a pregnant woman. being in that kind of situation. This would be two entities, where a butterfly, they have just the one. They lay those eggs. That next start that happens is a chrysalis gets created. All of this has a step. All of it has a step. What you don't want to do is ever disturb them. If you have a plant, I highly recommend this. If you have a plant that has a cocoon or any of those butterflies already in their dormant stage, where they're creating their whole body, do as much as you can to leave it alone. Don't, you can take people out there to look at it, but at a distance. Because with a small child is a very good chance that they want to touch it. And that's normal for a child, but it could kill the butterfly. And I don't care how many times you wash your hands, we carry oils on our hands. We carry germs on our hands. We carry a lot of things on our hands. And if you're out there in the dirt, you don't want to be handling when the butterflies are in their nesting stage. And what it looks like is like a cocoon with all these layers. And at some point, some of them get very translucent, where you can actually see the butterfly in the stages. Especially if you know what you're looking for, and that's what the internet is fabulous for. And you can absolutely follow the path. And how much fun it would be to do with your kids or your neighbors, or everybody gets together and everybody researches one stage and they get to share their picture. There's just a world of fun to be had. And I know I really enjoyed doing that with my kids, and I hope you will too. And help another generation take care of something that so many people go, oh, it's just a butterfly. Oh, it's just a bird. Oh, everything counts. Every one counts. You don't know if the butterfly you're dealing with has eggs already started, or she's the only one left with one male to repopulate an area that sadly we as humans have used herbicide and chemicals that kill all of these things. You want them to kill the weeds, that's lovely, but these insects specifically, and I'm trying to think of all of them. There's a lot of things that get killed by pesticide and by weed killer and all of that type of stuff. And of course, weather matters. So let's hope global warming is going to be a good thing. We'll get more butterflies as opposed to a bad thing. Of course, it's all bad, but let's find some beauty in that area of how wonderful it's going to be when you get to watch your butterflies fly around, because they do stay close if you have the right bushes and trees planted for them to eat. And so if you see your leaves chopped up, go see who's eating them. And how fun would that be that you and your kids can say, oh, look, our butterflies got to eat today. And of course, a dish of water. Always have a dish of water.
As you reminded me, everything needs water to live.
Everything.
So, what about butterfly migration? Is it just like with birds? Do they, a certain time of the year, they go from one place to the other, or do they hibernate? What happens when the weather changes?
When the weather changes, everything goes dormant, especially these. They don't go into what they call a chrysalis stage, which is, it looks like a little like somebody took a blanket, a clear blanket, and they caught up there and there. Now, there are some that do. That's why you have to look up and just Google. It's a really simple Google thing. Hey, Google, show me this and this. I have to be careful. Maybe my computer will answer me if I word it that way. I just realized, don't say that out loud. But what the fun is we have these magnificent things called libraries. And libraries have a lot of things that you can look at online. You don't necessarily have to go in, but it's a fabulous event. At least my feelings about that is that when you do these things with your children, it really impresses upon them that there's so much to learn, and look at how much we can do together, and just a fun outing with mom, dad, aunt, sister, brother, whatever you find there. And you go and look these magnificent books on butterflies, because again, just what Dr. Jacalyn said, not all of them fly long distances. Not all of them need milkweed. It's pretty close. Not all of them need a rosebud. Not the list goes on and on and on. It depends on where you live. Are there butterflies everywhere? Everywhere. There are butterflies everywhere. What we are doing with chemicals like Roundup we are killing off the things that will kill them. This is sorted. So you really need to be conscientious about what you're using for, weeds. Yeah, they're terrible. I spent years digging them up as a kid. I always thought it was torture, but maybe my parents thought I was learning something out there. And you need to know what plants you have. And in this day and age, it's fabulous. We have the internet. We also have a lot of people that talk about it just like we are, and encouraging you to look up what's the butterfly for this area. And they usually go with zip codes and or towns, whatever. You can really do this with your kids, and it will be so much fun. So can I say concisely what you have? No. Everybody has something different. But what I do understand is we do have butterflies in almost, I don't remember what country, but almost everywhere in the entire world. And they get to have fun with the mosquitoes.
I love that. Fantastic. Now, there's a special kind of butterfly that is apparently going to be extinct. Is this correct?
We actually have over 5. And I didn't memorize all the names, but monarch butterflies are in dire straits in the places that monarchs are. And we have monarchs here in California. So what we need, and the reason why I'm really hoping I'm enticing people to go out there, and you literally can order a butterfly in chrysalis, in their little cocoon. And then there's a kit, and there's a way to put it and where to put it. And then the joy of getting to release them. How exciting would that be for small children? And you give them a chance to be close to nature without decimating anything. And guess what? When you hatch and have your own butterflies to release, and I really want to stress, they must be from the area that they already are. You can't bring, let's say you don't have monarchs in your area. There's a reason why that they don't live there. It's too cold, it's too wet, it's too damp, they don't have the proper food, whatever. So be really diligent in your research and find the one or two. I would always suggest you do one type of butterfly, especially if it's your first year, maybe up to your 3rd year. You guys will have to decide, but it's a lot of taking care of. There's a lot of things. You got to have water bowl. You got to have this. You got to have that. And then you need to know when they're going to come out of their cocoon so that they are headed straight out of your house, not hitting windows. So many animals have problems with glass windows. They don't understand it, so they will bump into them. And most times it kills them. So they're very fragile in that way, and you don't ever want to. I know it's very tempting, especially with children, if you're going to do this with kids, which I really hope you do, is they want to touch the wing. They want to say, oh, what's that feel like? What's that feel like? What happens is that the wing is made of like a powder. So every time we touch it, I don't care if you scrubbed your hands 100 times, we take off some of the powder. Even if you're wearing gloves, you risk a great deal of that. So if you cannot, if for some reason everybody really wants to hold a live butterfly, try to get it on the side of your hand or someplace where you are not actually touching them. You could try gloves. I would really suggest, there's a lot of pros and cons out there. Please enjoy doing that research with your kids and say, okay, should we get gloves? What kind of gloves should we get? Or getting garden gloves? Because we're not talking about an animal that has talons or nails like a bird. So you can go a lot gentler. That's the really fun part, is to find out what lives in your backyard. And what I love when I was growing up is our school teachers, and I'm sure a lot of them do it now, but there's a lot more responsibility for teachers today. I don't want to assume anything at all. and it's not a mark on them, but how fun it is to watch the butterflies go into chrysalis stage. They are hanging down. If you know how peas grow, they hang down and they kind of look like that. And then little by little that opens and their wings open up. And what they're doing in that slow-mo, if you want to call it that, is the waiting for the wings to dry. As they become complete out of the cocoon, they need time to let those dry. So if you can imagine, if they're supposed to dry and somebody comes along and bumps into one of the wings, that doesn't come back. They don't regenerate wings. Not that I'm aware of.
Question.
Sure.
You know, the body of the butterfly, is that the same as the caterpillar? Does it look the same? Is it the same, or does it change?
The caterpillar is thicker, round, and usually longer. So you usually can see the difference, but if you haven't seen a monarch or any butterfly go into hibernation, you could get confused. Now, when they go into, they hook themselves to a tree or a branch with like the silk that you get from, like silkworms is a good example. It's their spun, and spiders have something like that too. And then they go into this chrysalis stage, which it looks like they took a really cool jacket, clear and all that, and wrapped themselves around in one direction. So imagine if you destroy that or bump into that or something. So once that outer protection is gone, the butterfly pretty much dies. So you see this, that's exactly it. You see the clear on your picture? That's a great picture you chose. And that's where that is one of the monarchs, and they are coming out piece by piece by piece, because what they have to do is they have to dry. In the chrysalis, they are in that cocoon, sorry, wrong term. It is where they're developing. They're going in, nothing. We got nothing. And then all of that starts forming and getting stronger, so that when they come out of that, yeah, they're going to sit on a ledge of, or the stick of the branch of the tree they're on. They're going to fly down, and maybe they don't usually go to the ground. That would be a little dangerous for them. So they try to stay in trees, plants, and things like that. Where they can stay hidden. And then it's a magical thing. If you ever get to do this with your kids, it's raise some butterflies. So they're more compacted, and then as they dry, and as the whole place where they were kept, where they were developing this, all falls apart. And please don't pull it. Don't encourage them by pulling it, because they have a time set on when that outer shell that they've been in to develop in has its purpose. But they also know when to start breaking away from that. And you really need to go with nature on these things. I really suggest that. Then one day you're going to go out and you're going to see the whole butterfly out on a branch, out on the leaf, and they'll move their wings, and they're sunning them. They're getting them dry the rest of the way. And it's just magical. Having a bowl of water, and I mean, you could have a bird bath with a little water. We're talking about a very small insect. But having water around in their neighborhood, if you want to put it that way, is so essential at this point. They don't get their wings wet. That's not a good thing. If it's raining, all that, they'll take care of it. But it is really important that they have that freedom and safety. So if you have a cat that happens to love butterflies, please keep them inside during this period. Dogs usually just go up and smell them. I haven't yet met a dog who's eaten them or tried to play with them. But keep your pets confined and with your children. And if you have a great pet that's trained, you can all sit down and watch the butterfly. And what will happen is, as they sun their wings, they open and close them and open them and close them. It's a very slow process and goes on from anywhere for hours to days. And it's a wonderful thing that you can videotape Kids can talk about it. You can go do show and tell later, because eventually the butterflies do pass away. And a lot of people, that's when they find them on the ground, and then they either put them into, something permanent where you can really study the leaves. And what's great about the internet, Google it. You can see all the different ways that your area does it, or what's your plan. Because the most things you Google, they know what zip code you're in.
Right.
I find it very easy to not have to remember where do I live, what county do I live. And let's say you're giving a gift to somebody else, or you're helping them and doing the research. It's all out there. It's so neat that it's all out there.
Well, a question that I have, I've met a few people over time who actually are raising, I guess that's the right word, raising
Yay.
butterflies in their homes. So they have an area that's very dark, and I don't understand the whole process, but can you speak to that? Is this something that anybody can do?
Anybody can do it. Yes. The bottom line is anybody can do it. What you need is that wonderful education that you'll get when you read the books. The library has a plethora. I rechecked them this morning, and yep, they still have quite a lot, and they have age ranges. And the librarians can really help you with, let's go look at this one, and you have small children, and you've got teenagers and everything in between, and adults. Maybe it's you. Like myself, my kids are all grown, but my patio is growing every moment, and all of that. And one of these days I'll have you on camera, and we'll sit on my steps and give you a bird's eye view that literally I have a set of stairs coming up to our front door, and there's a pot on each side. So don't come with a big load. It can be that fun. It can be that crazy. It can be what you are capable of and what you think. If you need support and help, please go and talk to people in organizations like the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts, 4-H. All of these have a lot of great programs. There's Brownies and a lot of other groups that I'm sure I'm missing, but you get the idea. You don't have to do this alone in your head or at your home. And maybe your library, I know a lot of libraries in our area actually have people come in and talk about the season of the butterfly, or talk about birds, or talk about whatever. Do check with your library. So hopefully this gives you a wide berth of where do you start? Start on YouTube. Here we are. It's a wonderful place to get those fun ideas that you can do for yourself and learn so much. That's what I love. I don't have small children anymore. And your family, when you're working together, even if it's cooking a meal, right? You and your mom did so many wonderful things I talked about and learned about, and the dogs and everything. And you do it together. And then you go, not today. Mm-hmm. But when you have a couple of people to help you, it's neat that you can change off and get your kids invested in seeing butterflies, in seeing birds, in seeing planting plants, that it all matters to everybody thriving. What we've done is chopped our trees, ruined the waters, all of these things, because honestly, people are still dumping waste in water sources. And that's not even the tip of the iceberg of how we got here. But we can change. True. We can change.
Yeah, I'd love to have you talk a little bit about if someone is planning a garden, maybe they're just moving in, or they've decided, in this space, I'm going to make a little garden.
Right.
What would they need to think about so that they could attract butterflies if they were interested?
Well, and monarchs specifically like milkweed. And it's something that is not commonly sold in my area, even though it should have been native to the area. But that tells you how much construction we've done, and really done harm to our animals living with us. The best resources, again, I can't say enough, is, of course, Google it on a computer, go to the library. Librarians are the unsung hero really on learning. They know so much. They're courteous and really willing to have you come and look at the books. What I loved with my kids was I got half picture books and written books. And sometimes that was the same book. It was wonderful. And we would go there and read, and they'd go sit in the kids' chairs and meet other kids. Because in those areas, the shushing was very limited because we wanted the kids to enjoy themselves, go to reading hours. The way to find a person doing this is networking. We don't any longer have Meetup. And if you guys, it was all over the entire US and Canada. And it was a place to go, and it was mostly adults. And you meet other people who want to learn about dogs, or you want to learn about milkweed, or you want to learn, and I really miss it. And I know in some places they still have Meetup. And it's for every age. It'll say on there, this is about this topic. We're going to go hiking every Tuesday. We're going to do this. So please look to see if Meetup is still alive in your area. And all it is just people getting together for a topic that they love or they want to teach. And some people charge for it, and not a lot. But it sometimes is a supply issue because they'll bring all the supplies. Everybody pays a due. It can be free, but Meetup is a great place to start if you want to see if anybody's doing anything about monarchs, about plants, and all the animals. Truly, if you're using chemicals like Roundup, we need to pass that good information around. And maybe you're great at learning, but you wouldn't like to do all the talking. That's great. Find somebody who wants to do that with you and go baby steps, little at a time. A couple of you guys get together at one person's house. Maybe that's not a good idea all the time. So that's why you can go to parks. And what I love is I love seeing the hiking trips and people who are outside going, oh, we've got monarchs. They're open. They're ready to go. Anybody want to come? And then they'll talk about what kind of, maybe you won't need a magnifying glass. Maybe you need binoculars so you can see from distance. And the fun, I think the best part is all the networking we're doing. So that's what I wish for you. I wish you will fall in love with the monarch or whatever your butterfly is in your area and help them along. Put out the nectar they need. Put out, a place they can call home. Doesn't mean they will, but you can do that. And honeybees are no different. They need a bowl of water, and they need a safe place to hang out, maybe from hive to hive. And I'm going to go a little off topics because this is just so important. Honeybees specifically, when they are in a swarm, Dr. Jacalyn, are they the most dangerous of being stung? Are you more dangerous to be stung by a whole colony of bees flying by? Because they come in the thousands.
They don't want to bother you. They're protecting the queen. So just let them have their space.
We've got to get the word out. This is the most docile time in their entire existence, which is only a few months, because they have a queen. She's hatched, and they need to build a new home for them. They've left some bees behind with the older queen or the young queen. Sorry, got them mixed up. And they're going this way. It is the safest time to be around a bee because they don't care about you. They care about the queen. They care about getting to the new residence, wherever that is. They're very focused. If they stop and hang out on your building or on your window or your car, it happens. Put a little couple dishes of water out, come back, and within hopefully 24 hours, they've flown away again. It's that simple to deal with. You don't need to kill them, but more importantly, you don't need to fear them. Fear in people, we do the weirdest things when we're scared. I'm right there too. I'm sure I've made some really dumb decisions while I'm scared. So I want to boost you up with knowledge and reassure you. You can read about this anywhere, and you can be a part of help of them having a place to get a little bit of water. That's why those water places that you can do for your other birds and things, the honeybee needs it just as much. So if you ever see them all covered over your little water dish, that's okay. They're not staying. They're not planning on drowning. So they're going to get up and get out of there as soon as they get a drink and they get a rest. It's really vital that we know this. Bees are not out after you. You're not a flower. And it does confuse them with our body soaps and perfumes and all these things we wear. They kind of look at us like, wait a minute, but you smell like one, but you don't act like one. But I don't see. So you could see why you could get very confused. A lot of ladies wear strong perfume and or, we put mousse in our hair or whatever, and you don't know what that bee is going to be attracted to. Just remember, wish them well and walk away. Get into a building if they just can't leave your wonderful scent alone, and hopefully leave them outside. Just some tips.
Excellent tips as always. Thank you. I'm like literally speechless that the show is over already. It flew by today. That was so much wonderful information that you shared, Amina. Thank you. We have a number of people watching live across the platform, which we always love. Thank you so much. For people who want to reach out to you and connect with you, what are the services and the value that you can provide to people?
Well, just like you hear every Friday, my style is empowerment. I don't think I've ever quantified it that way, but today I'm told to do that. It isn't to empower you. I have been so fortunate to fill my life with a lot of educational opportunities, and they're never ending. I know I'm always learning here on this channel because I love watching all the other co-hosts and what we talk about, because we're all very, very passionate about our topics. This is what you need to find is something that resonates with you, something that is a great idea to try, that doesn't cost a lot of money, that maybe just takes some time of yours. I always will advocate for the libraries. People don't realize how many, so many people don't realize that we forget about them. But our libraries are a great place to say, what do I want to look at? Guess what a library has? Thousands of books on topics, on projects, on how to build a car, on how to make a flower bed. They're all there. And you never know what will inspire you. It could be a commercial. And you go, wait a minute, I should look that up. And you can Google it on your computer right then and there. And you can go look at all the really neat books, especially some of the older ones, and you get such amazing information. So everybody go out there. Don't be sorry about you didn't get to it. Someday you will. And I hope everybody blesses a honeybee instead of getting scared, because honestly, they don't want anything to do with you. I don't know about you, Dr. Jacalyn, but we have party cups, when parties are over and you got like the last three and no, and I'm not washing them or anything, but I have washed one because I only had but one. And then I take a little piece of paper when I get her caught, put a little piece of paper, take her out, because what happens when they sting us? They die.
Right. Yeah.
So
exactly.
we are not for that. And,
Right.
and it hurts. And you might find out you're allergic and it's going to hurt a little more. No, just know, honeybees understand this is a life and death decision. Are they that afraid that you're going to either hurt them or their hive? They will take death. Really think about this. This is the reality of this tiny little insect. Mosquitoes are off the table. All they want to do is drink your blood. So that's a vampire time. But honeybees, one thing. They die when they sting you. Think about that. They don't want to sting you. They want their life to go on. And we need to be a partner with that and put out lovely, lovely sunny plants that have pollen.
Absolutely. Fabulous advice. People now know, because here in the States, the summer is coming. And so now you realize you don't have to be afraid of bees and what to do, and about butterflies. Thank you, Amina, for once again bringing so much valuable information. I look forward to seeing you next week. And for everybody out there watching, if you could go over to our YouTube channel, wherever it is that you are, just go over to YouTube and look for USA Global TV and Radio and subscribe. We would love to have you join us because we've got over 45 different shows now. So there's a lot of content, and Amina's been with me since the beginning. So we're going to sign off for now. Everybody have a great weekend. And remember, love the butterflies and love the bees.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.